All right. Welcome everyone. I think we can start right away. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me, Francis?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah,
fantastic.
I can hear you, Michael.
So it's good to have you all here. Um,
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
oh, thank you. All right. So I'm not sharing something. Let's see. All right. So good to have you all here. So this meeting, I think we're very lucky to have someone to come speak to us today. Someone that is in the industry, all right? So someone that has a wealth of experience when it comes to the tech world. So we are lucky to have him, and he's already here, and he's ready to inspire us, to give us some words of inspirations, and to teach us a few things we need to know, give us some key points that we're going to go away with. So and he's ready. So I believe we're also ready to learn from him. So please take your pen and your notebook and take notes of every single thing that comes out of his mouth, because it's going to be a huge one for us. So yeah, so you're welcome, Francis. Um, yeah, so like I
Thank
said,
you
good to
very
have
much.
you. So you can take over from here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael. It's really a privilege to be here to speak to everyone, and thanks for inviting
We
me
can hear
to.
you.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear him?
Yes, I can hear
Yes, we
him.
can hear him. Yes.
Hello?
All right, good. I'm glad you can hear me. So
I'm not sure why. Okay, sorry. I think it's mine.
I think it's from your end, Michael.
Okay, good.
All right, so I'll just go ahead so that we don't waste much time here. So my name is Labi Francis. I'm currently living in Abuja. I, I enjoy traveling. I travel quite a lot. Also, I studied petroleum and gas engineering. So I'm sure some of you will be wondering how petroleum and gas engineering and tech is related. Well, that's what I studied, but I'm doing a different thing. I've always been passionate about tech from my university days. So what I'll do now is that I'm going to share a story, and then after the story, as I'm sharing the story, I want you to like come up with what you want to take away from this meeting, right? I want to address everyone's questions or what they want to get away from this meeting specifically, while I'll also talk about like general principles or what have worked for me over the years. Is that fine? Let me get some responses.
Oh yes, I think we love it.
Fine.
All right. All right, cool. So you can begin to think of once I leave this meeting, I want this particular question to be answered. Maybe what skill is trending? Just something that's been burning in your heart. Like after I share the story, I'll give everyone the opportunity to just share what you want to take away from this meeting. So back to my story. So in school, after like my petroleum and gas engineering degree, there was this opportunity from the Commonwealth Games Federation to work with the Commonwealth as a like it was an internship program for a year, right? So they wanted people that were sound tech like computer wise. So they gave out applications to computer science students, like computer science graduates. They told them that they should apply. There's an internship opportunity. So all the computer science like graduates, fresh graduates, they applied. I think a lot of people applied actually. So I felt like I studied petroleum and gas engineering, right? These opportunities for computer science people, I shouldn't really be applying. But well, like Michael's brother, then he was the one that just encouraged me that I should apply. So I sent him my application, right? And I just put in some stuff I've done, like website I've built as a student. So interestingly, they called me for the interview, right? So, and I was the first person to go into the interview room. So there was this big panel with people seated, and then they asked me a simple question that I should do a very, very simple website, very, very simple website in 5 minutes. And they started timing me. So, so what should I do? Like I just came up with something like in 4 minutes, and then I just showed it on the guy's laptop. They just wanted something basic, not complex. Can just be maybe hello world or just a page to be online. And I did that under 4 minutes, right? And then they said, "Oh, he did it under 4 minutes. You can go." Right? Then there were like other people, like 10 or so, that were waiting. All of them were computer science, like graduates, fresh graduates, and they all went through the interview process. So I felt like this opportunity is not going to be for me. I mean, these guys are computer science graduates. They'll be given the opportunity, right? But interestingly, after 2 days, I just got a call from the like director in charge of the internship, because it was in partnership with Uniport, right? And then he was like, "Oh, Francis, congratulations. You have been selected to go for the internship. Prepare, you are traveling to South Africa." And I'm like, what? I was really shocked, right? Because I didn't expect it one. So because I felt like these are computer science graduates, they should really know their stuff. But unfortunately, they were all computer science graduates, but they were only on paper, in quotes. They didn't have the necessary skills to like do what is needed of a computer science graduate. Now, I'm not trying to shade computer science graduates. My point here is that having the skill it's more valuable than just having like the degree and then you're not being valuable yourself, right? um it's okay, so I got that opportunity and it gave me like, that was like my first big break in tech, right? Because after that, like, I went to like 4 other countries because of my skill set, right? So back to our topic for today, why you should get a tech skill, right? That's what I'll be talking on. So remember our agreement. I said after the story, I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to share what they want to take away from this meeting. I already have my talk outlined, but I want to like focus on what, because I don't know, like tech is broad, right? There are different areas. I don't know if everyone here is into software engineering or someone into product marketing, maybe someone into UI UX, right? I'm sure maybe like a diverse like tech career field for everyone. So yeah, that's my first story. So over to you now. I want us to just go quickly, just one thing you want to get away from this talk, and then I'll come back. So yeah. Mike, you can run through and call out people so that it's organized.
Should they send a message or should they then have to talk?
Okay, they should just say, if maybe your internet's kind of fluctuating, you can just type it in the chat, and then, or if you can just say it like quickly. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll be taking notes so that I'll address everything.
So David, let's start with you. Or anyone, you can send your messages on the chat. What you want to get, as he said, what you want to get from this talk. Okay, so or you can raise up your hand and then speak out. All right. So if you want to also put it as a question, I think there's no problem. So you can do that. All right, Felix.
Well, sir, Yeah, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, please.
Okay, good evening. This is David, and I'm currently on the road. So yeah. So I really appreciate the platform and what you guys are doing for us this evening. I really appreciate that. And whenever we have any contact with you guys, Mr. Prince, Mr. Mike, and Mr. Labi, we are meeting you for the first time today. It gives me a huge sense of hope that we are doing something great, that we are part of something great, and we are going to get to greater heights with this our pursuit. So I am here just to be motivated more and to strengthen my path, my sense of focus on this mission. That's basically what it is for me. And I appreciate you guys once again.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Please, the next person just go straight to the point so that we keep to time. I want us to like have like a really nice conversation. So just go straight to it. Thank you.
Felix, you want to say something?
Also, if you can introduce yourself, like what you're currently working on, maybe you're into front end or you're into UI UX, so that I have an idea of everyone that is here.
Okay.
Okay, sir. David, I'm a trainee, and we're still in training.
In what? In what? Is it back end or front end?
Front end development, front end.
Okay. So most of them here are basically working on front end at the moment.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Michael and Mr. Labi. Okay, so currently interested in learning, getting a skill set in front end, and hopefully building more skill in UI UX. Because I don't know. I think I should put this as a question. Will a skill in UI UX be important when will it be important for somebody who wants to build a skill in front end development designing?
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
So,
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
thanks.
Okay, I see two people have typed their questions. Okay. Anyone else want to go? Why I'm doing this is because so that once you leave this session, you know that what you came for was answered in addition to all what I'll say, right? So yeah. Go ahead, Felix. Or anyone else.
Okay, yeah, good evening, everyone. I don't know
Good
who
evening.
else wants to talk. Okay, my name is Amaka Okene. Actually, my interest is in a front end. I also like to have some experience as a data analytics and so on. So these are just the two areas I'm focusing on.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
thank you. We it will take two more and maybe the rest can type in their questions. So
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Effiong. So I'm actually a back-end developer, a back-end trainee. Yeah. So I actually am so happy for today's
Okay.
meeting. So I want to actually know more about the back-end, like what I can actually use Python for. Like becoming a full Python developer as our tutor, Mr. Mike, was taking us on. So I just want to learn more about my parts, like what I need to actually know to follow fully on that part. Yes. So,
Okay.
I
Thank
thank
you.
you.
You're welcome. Anyone else before I continue? Yeah, all right. Thank you all for sharing what you want to get out of this meeting. If you have like your own, you can type it in the comment section. So I'll just run through like what I want to share like today. So going back to the topic, right? It said why you should learn a tech skill. And from what I've gathered, like everyone here is like currently learning something, either front end or back end, right? So now that you're learning this particular skill or you are about to start learning one, right? I think the first thing you need to do is to like define why are you doing this, right? If you don't know why you are doing it may become challenging at some point and then you just feel that you should give up, right? So everyone has his own reason for learning tech. Some did for passion, some did for money. I'm in between. I'm for passion and for money, but I also give you like some other reasons why you might consider why you should consider like learning a tech skill, right? So first of all, right, the market, like the job market demands new skills. That's one thing you should know, right? The job market requires highly skilled people. So if you're coming like from, let's say like me, from an average Nigerian university, you don't really get the opportunity to really learn like coding, quote, if you're studying computer science, you don't get the opportunity to learn skills that are marketable to the society. So learning a tech skill and with the way things are going and everything is evolving now, it gives you that edge, right? Like being ahead of your peers. So one of the major reasons, like one of your whys should be that you want to be in demand. You don't want to be like those other computer science students that they just graduated and they didn't select them, right? When recruiters are reaching out to or they're trying to hire someone, they're looking for people that are highly skilled, right? So just to divert a little bit, let's say for example, you want to Japa, right? Most of their visas, even from the name, for example, UK, they'll tell you skilled worker visa. That's the kind of people they are looking for, right? They are not actually looking for people that will just come and take space wherever they are. So you should keep it at the back of your mind that one of your whys should be that you want to be in demand, you want to be relevant, you want to be important to society, you want to be able to contribute to a company, right? So that's one because the workplace demands new kind of skills. Our parents then, when they finished school, they got jobs, right? They didn't need to learn, let me say, how to do prepare a slide or how to use Microsoft Word. Then once you graduate 20 years, you don't need to learn all the jobs were available and you just join the government and you start working. But now recruiters, they'll start asking for, even though they are not as technical, let's say as front end, and or I'm trying to be general now, they'll ask you for some basic stuff. Or can you use Excel? Can you use can you create a slide, a standard slide? Do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? There's just this extra thing that they ask for. And if you're able to do that, right, you'll be like the go-to person. So back to my story, when I got the internship opportunity and I started working, I moved to Lagos and I was like the intern there. But aside being the intern, like I was the skilled person there. So even the international, like our international affiliations, right? When they reach out to the organization, they try to reach out to me because they were already using advanced tools. They're already using advanced products that required tech skills, like to be able to manipulate data and all that. They'll bypass like the CEO. The CEO reach out to me and say, "Oh, Francis, you work on this." And even the older people that were there, they're now angry that I'm here to take their job and all that. But it wasn't that, just because that everybody wants value. Everybody's looking for people that will solve problems for them. So number one, it's that you should know that the workplace has changed. There are new demands now. Your certificate or your degree, it's not enough. Then number two is that there are limited jobs, right, and many applicants. There are limited jobs and there are many applicants. So if there are limited jobs and applicants are many, uh, that should let you know that the HR people do look for the best of the best, right? If you see a job now on, let's say, on LinkedIn or whatever, before you even apply, you see like 300, 200 people have applied. And if you are not among like the top 5, you might not even get an interview. Now, why I'm saying all this, because my talk is kind of preparing you to be ready for like global opportunities, because for the past like 4 years now, I've worked with like let's say past 5 years now, I've worked with like 3 international organizations, and these are the things that helped me, right? So don't compare yourself like just with your Nigerian contemporaries. Like try to see yourself that you're going to be working for big US companies, big British companies. So your approach to life has to be very, very different. So yeah, so number two, I said that there are there are limited jobs and then there are many applicants and you want to really stand out. So that's one of the reasons you have to take your skill acquisition very seriously. Number three, which is very, very important and is also one of my favorite, is that you need money to survive, right? As I need the money to survive, you want like a soft life, in quotes, right? Look, for instance, like all these people that go into what is it called? They do all this Yahoo stuff and all that. Like, what are they really looking for? They are looking for a comfort, they are looking for a better life, you know, although they don't want to pay the price. But with your tech skill, one of your whys should also be that, oh, you need money to survive. If you want to get married or you have a family, you pay bills, right? You're going to pay bills, like you're going to pay you pay dowry, you pay wedding, you pay for everything. Like you need money even to eat. To be on this call, you needed money to buy data, right? So you need money to survive. So that should also be like one of your whys. Now, the fourth point is like global relevance, right? You're trying to acquire a skill that even if you are in UK, you are in US, you're in Germany, you can still contribute to their market, right? You can still contribute to companies there. There are some people, all they know is limited to Nigeria. And if they travel out, there's nothing they can add again. But I'm glad some of you are already taking like front end, back end, like doing stuff that are relevant. Because if you go anywhere in the world, these skills are still like very, very much needed. In fact, if you are that good and you have built your experience over time, they'll even be reaching out to you from like UK, US, and asking you that, oh, come and join us. Like, think about 1 month ago, I got one email on LinkedIn that, oh, come and apply for like a global talent visa. You meet all the requirements and all that. So why would they reach out to me? Because maybe they've seen my LinkedIn profile and see the companies I've worked for and all of that. So global relevance is what you should be aiming for, so that if you have the chance, you relocate to Canada or wherever, you can carry your skills and then you can also contribute like wherever you are. Now, finally, like you want to make like a meaningful impact, right? Aside the money and all that, you want to make meaningful impact in society, in your company. So, for example, a meaningful impact is that when I joined the organization in Lagos, they were manually doing a lot of things, right? But when I came in, like I automated a lot how they were working. Even because of me, they introduced an app to be able to manage athletes because we traveled to Botswana then, and one of the white managers was like, "Oh, how do we introduce this app? I can see that you're very technical and all that." And because of me, like they made sure that we did a training in Lagos. We hosted about 14 African countries to be able to like make that impact, so that across Africa we're now using like digital products and all of that. Now look at some of the softwares people have built over time, like Paystack and all that, all those companies. They've made like a meaningful impact in people's life, making it easier for people to do stuff like across Africa and all. So yeah, those are like some of a few points, and then you can add your own reason. Why are you doing this? You should have a game plan. Shouldn't just do things like without having like a clear direction. You should know, why am I learning front end? Why am I learning back end? Why am I going into data analytics? Is it because everyone is just going into it? What are the opportunities there? You have to be really technical, strategic in what you're doing. So now I've covered why. I'll just pause a little bit, and if you have any questions, just let me know, and then I'll move on to the next. So questions if I move on to the next section of what I want to talk about.
Oh, there's a question in the chat by Felix. So can you take a look?
Okay, say please, what was the challenges and how did you solve them while you were building your programming skills? So thanks for that question, right? The first challenge for me, right, was money, right? I didn't have a lot of money, so my dad then was giving me like a stipend in school, and I remember the first technical kind of course I took. Out of the stipend they're giving me, I removed 5,000 naira to go and buy it, because that 5,000 naira was a very huge sacrifice for me, because as a student, you had like a lot of bills to, you need to buy handouts, you need to pay for transport, and all that. But I had to make that sacrifice, right? To just, I didn't have a lot of money, but I made sacrifices. Like I made huge sacrifice. That 5,000 naira, like it was a turning point for me. I also give you another of my friend that has like his own challenge, like because he was schooling in UNN. He's very close. He works with Facebook now. Like anytime I go to London, I see him. So I also invite him sometimes to speak to people. He didn't have money to have internet. So he goes to what is it called? Then there were cyber cafes. So he'll go and pay for all night browsing so that he can learn, and he'll be learning all through the night. He was even writing code on his phone, right? So there will always be challenges, but you need to make like can I say sacrifices must be made, right? You need to make sacrifices. You have to delay, so you have to do like have like delayed gratification, right? So money was a challenge, but it was painful to sacrifice that 5,000 naira then, but it paid off. You may need to sacrifice your sleep temporarily, like Then like I was always sleeping like very late, studying. I had one desktop laptop that if they just take light, that's the end. The laptop has gone off. So those were like the challenges. Then I'll have to download PDF books, like be reading them since I cannot read online and all, and just be learning and be hungry, right? You have to be hungry, like interact with people that will push you forward. So the major challenge I had was like money, right? To get stuff done. If I had a lot of money, then that's why one of the things I did, like when I had like a major break, I like buy laptops for people that are just starting out because I know how tough it was for me, right? Yeah. So even when you start seeing like maybe they just employed you as an intern and you have started seeing like small money, right? It's not the time, you know where you're going to. So let me give you an example. The first time I had like ₦1 million in my account, I say, wow, this I was like years ago. I say I've blown, but I didn't splurge that money. I ordered books on Amazon. There's this book HTML and CSS, John Dockett. I ordered a lot of books from Amazon. I removed about 400,000 naira then to buy a second-hand MacBook, right? I didn't carry that 1 million and go and see and I'm spending or I have blow or free because I know the money will finish. I needed something that will last long. So I bought books, I read books that will expand my mind. I bought a laptop, a better laptop, and I kept learning, right? I didn't say, oh, I have reached like, hey, 1 million. Not the 1 million of now, 1 million of like about 5 years ago. Right, when the exchange rate was, because now if you have $1,000 you have 1 million because of the because of the exchange rate. So like you have to make sacrifices if, for example, you don't have the money, and then you have to be hungry. You must have like mentors that will help you out. I also talk about mentors like towards the end of how to interact with your mentors. But for me, yeah, the major challenge was having money to get resources. So that even slowed me down a bit, right? Because I had to be moving slowly. But imagine someone that has a laptop, has internet, has access, unlimited access, they'll grow fast. That's why in the US and all, you see people 19, 21, 18, they're already doing fine because all the resources are there for them. But because here we're in Africa, like there's internet problem. Even you have money to get internet is slow. The courses, some of the courses are very expensive. You have to be making use of the free ones you have like on YouTube and all that, and you're able to afford like paid courses. But remember to always stay hungry. Like even at this stage, right? I still study, I still read, I still update myself because things are changing. I don't want to be irrelevant. I have my whys, right? I have my whys of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And one of my secret whys is that I don't want to get to a stage where um, I'm so broke and maybe my child wants to reach out to me and say, hey, Daddy, I need food for this. I'm not able to provide, right? So I don't
In
have to
that
be
case,
in
you
that
have to
situation.
explain.
You don't have to explain. Right. So that even helps me to plan some things. Yeah. So that's one of my major challenges to answer that question. So yeah, if you have any other question, you can ask before I move forward. Good, 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 good. All right. Hope you all are enjoying this talk. Like, give me feedback if you want me to digress. I can digress a bit. Good. Thanks for the thumbs up. So yeah, like moving on now, like I'm sharing the path I used to be able to even keep doing what I'm doing now. So I've told you about why, okay, please, how were you able to grab things easily during the learning process? Okay. So the thing about learning is that you have to repeat it. Like it doesn't just happen. You have to repeat it over and over. There are some people, right, that are blessed with good memories, like they just learn stuff fast. I'm not among them, right? I need to do something over and over and over again before it will enter me. So for me, there was no easy way out of saying learning things easily. It didn't happen that way. I had to practice, 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 practice. Even now, like I have to still be learning stuff to practice, practice, practice. Let's say you're starting out on front end, for example, right? And then you build your first index.html page, you add your CSS and JavaScript. And then maybe it's kind of tough for you. Go sleep, drink water again, and come back again, right? And try it again. It will make more sense, right? If it doesn't enter, go back, come back to it again. I'm telling you, you will understand it. Like this for people that don't grasp things easily, like me, right? Go again, come back, try it, give it another try, and you'll be able to learn stuff. Like before you know it, it's second nature. So if, for example, I'm starting out front end now, one of the things I'll do is that I'll try to like learn a lot from a lot of resources, like watch a lot of YouTube videos, then practice, like build like 10 projects, and maybe the video is supervising me. Then I also try to practice again and build like maybe 15 projects, and without supervision. They may just be small, small projects, because as you're practicing, your brain is having like what they call like muscle memory, right? You're building new parts in your head so that you'll be able to resolve stuff. So it's just like learning how to drive. The first time you enter the car, like you're kind of maybe confused about how will I do this and all. But if you practice before you know it, yeah, you're able to to do it. Like so, the more you do it every day, right, the the better for you, and the more you have like better memory in doing stuff. So yeah, you need to practice. There's no shortcut to just say, oh, I watched this YouTube video, that's the end. No, you have to show what you have learned. You should be able to practice, or you write an article about it. I know. Thanks for asking that question. Are we good? I want to move to the next section. So step one, know your why. And then I'm moving on to step two now, which I call like the basics. The basics, regardless of whatever career path you are, whether front end, data analytics, and all that, is what I call like the basics, the core basics. So if you have any question, feel free to ask before I start talking on that. All right, so I'll just move forward. You can always type in your question there. So the basics, you have to like have some fundamental skills in your life. These are non-negotiable. You cannot do anything against it. You cannot do anything for it. You just have to do it. Whether you are doing front end data analytics or whatever. So the first thing is that you need to know how to communicate well. You need to know how to communicate well, both verbally and especially when you are typing. You must know how to communicate well. So imagine now, let me say, 6 years ago, I made a very concrete decision that I'm not going to type shorthand to anybody. That was like years ago. So if I'm chatting with you on WhatsApp, I'm not going to say, how are you, HW and you. I said, I will not do that. It's destroying my writing skills, right? I made that conscious effort that I'm going to type in full. And when I made that decision, like I observed that my writing improved. Now, why am I saying this? Because I'm believing that in years to come, like everyone here will be doing well. We might even meet somewhere and be like, oh, that talk that you gave and all that. Once you're working remotely, right? You'll be communicating maybe on Slack, you'll be communicating, whatever. You need to type in full or they say present. Let's say, for example, you wrote a code and you want to tell your CEO what this code is all about and you want to give a description. You won't come and be writing, using poor English to communicate. You need to know how to communicate well, clearly. So, and one of the things, how can you learn like how to communicate well? You read other people's notes, see how they communicate. when maybe your boss or whoever are looking to, you see them writing, observe what they are doing, how they're writing, right? Read articles that inspire you. There was one time I went for an event and there was this lady, she just knows how to write very well. So I walked up to her and I asked, I said, "Ma, how do you write so well like this?" Like, I was working like for a fashion. So she's like, she writes, she describes like fashion brands. And you know how fashion brands is to hype, is to show the design, does give the big English, but it doesn't big English, but it was well presentable. Asked her, I said, "How do you write so well and all that?" She just told me a very simple. She said, "It's what you consume, you will give out." So she reads a lot of international journals, international articles, right? But if you're spending all your time on blogs that are just catching cruise, it's entering you. Like before you know it, you want to communicate one day, you're stuck. You have it in your head, but you cannot just say it. You don't know how to communicate. You don't know the words to use, right? So communication is key, right? If you get a job now, even from the email, like when you're writing your cover letter and all that, yeah, I know there are chats, there's chat GPT now, you can just, but people are now, HR managers are wiser. Like they know when you're using chat GPT and all that. So you must know how to write your, maybe someone here, you need to make like a decision that I'll be writing in full to my friends, to my family members, whosoever, on WhatsApp, wherever. I'm not going to be typing short English. How, HW, you are okay, UAR, are you fine, ARFIN, all those kind of things is damaging you, but you don't know, right? I want it to just come out of you. You might not really know. So you must know how to communicate, how to write very, very well. Like, well, my job involves that I write a lot, I communicate to people, and these people are not Nigerians. You can be able to distill your thoughts well and be open to feedback. If they say, "Oh, I don't understand you, what are you saying?" Be willing to improve and get better. So that's on knowing how to write well and communicate well. Then you should know how to use tools that enable people work like in a modern company. For example, you should know how to use Google Workspace. You should know how to use Google Calendar. You should know how to use Docs, how to use slides. So if, for example, your boss say, "Oh, please get a meeting on my calendar. Let us have this meeting." These are skills that you find out that graduates don't know how to do. So if Michael asks you now, say, "Please send an invite to all these people, invite them for this meeting, add the link to the invite and all that and all that," will you be able to do that, right? I know some people here can do it, but I'm sure there are some who don't be able to because they are not used to these tools, right? And these are tools that you'll be using in your workplace. So there's no shame in it. Everybody didn't know how to do it before. Anything someone is doing, they learned it. So you just humble yourself and say, "Please, how do they do this thing? How can I do it? How do I learn?" Right? Because you're going to be working with this kind of tools. So also emails, how to write proper emails. Some people don't know what is CC, they don't know what is BCC. So when they are replying, they don't know what is reply and reply all, right? I'll allow you to do your research on that. So if they send you an email, how do I reply? How do I add my subject and all that? These are basics. Yeah, like I said, some people already know how to do that, but some even reply emails, they don't add a subject, right? So communication, these are like soft skills aside the technical aspect, which I'll talk about. These are basics and non-negotiables, right? All right, what else? Just see Microsoft productivity tools, and everyone has used Microsoft Word. You have used Excel. Now there's Notion, like how to use Slack and all that. These are tools that you'll be using, like if you're working remotely, and also be open to learning, right? So let's say, for example, you don't know how to use, let me say, Slack or Google Kind. Just go on YouTube. It's how to, just use how to and add your question. You will see it. There are some names, like I've had interviews that I'll see some names I've never heard before. Like, but I'll go to YouTube and say how to pronounce this name, so that once I'm talking with the interviewer, I'm giving the right pronunciation to their names, right? And YouTube will play it, and I learn. So everybody is learning, right? There's no shame in it. Like, people have different experiences. People come from different backgrounds. Some are not as privileged as others. So yeah, so these are like the basics, especially how to write well, how to communicate well. It also help you when you're reaching out to a mentor, because if you, let me give you a perfect example. Let's say you want to reach out to a mentor, you now send a message, hi, you're now waiting for the mentor to reply. People are busy. Instead of you to say, hi, how are you doing? Please, I started working on this. I am facing this challenge, this. Please, I need you to come into correct, presentable message, so that people know that this person is serious. But some people, they just reach out to him and, hi, please, I need help with front-end engineering. What do you want me to do? How do you want me to start helping with front-end engineering? What help do you need? What challenges are you facing? What have you tried? What have you done? So you see these little things. That's why most people, they just leave you on read. They'll not even listen to you. But if you come and you present yourself well, you type in what you're dealing with, you show that you have done something, your English is correct. This one, the mentor even say, I want this person to be my mentee because he's showing seriousness. But some people, they'll just be lazy. They'll just say, please help me. I need this one line chats or responses. And trust me, it just makes people to leave you alone and they'll not even get back to you. So that's it for this section. Other tools you should learn. I'll just say this briefly, like CV writing to help you. Let me give you an example with CV writing. I have this friend, right? He's into DevOps. Like, then in school, I was showing him how to start helping him and all that. We're working together, like in tech and all. I was a bit ahead of him, like in my tech career and all. So, but he was applying to jobs, right? This guy is good. Like, he writes code. He's what they call badass. He's loaded, right? But then he was earning, I think he was working for one community kind of like project or so, and I was in like 40K per month and all. 40K per month. I think that was in 2018. Like in 2018, 2019. So, but he was trying to get international jobs. He was like, Francis, I want to, the way you're just traveling, you're going to Dubai, you're going to, it's like, so I'm like, but this guy, you are good though. Like, I even feel you're better than me and all that. You should like be doing well. So one day I just asked him, please send me your CV. I looked at the CV. I said, what is this? The CV was so disorganized. He just mixed things anyhow, just put things. He did not even present himself well. The English was not correct. There were errors. I'm like, what? I just had mercy on him because he's my friend. He's very close to me. I took time. I started working on the CV. Like, I put it together. I presented it well. He was like, then now at least, even though he doesn't get the job, they are inviting him for interviews. They are trying to, I'm like, hey, then one day just sent me a message on WhatsApp that Francis, I'm in South Africa. And I said, that what will a young, I can't forget that statement. What will a young boy like me do with 950,000 naira salary per month? That he's just confused. I say go and buy land, but he did not listen to that advice. He started flexing. So, but that's just by the way. How you present yourself to matter. So you see, he was good technically, but he didn't know how to present himself. He didn't know how to write well. He was just doing things anyhow. Yeah. So that's CV writing. So effective communication, active listening, and all that. So effective communication. Even now, as I'm talking, you are paying attention. So if you ask a question, I will know if you have been listening or not. Sometimes you might be in a meeting, right? and then they ask you what's your contribution or what do you want to say, and you cannot say anything, the person will be looking at you like, this one is not serious. But if, for example, I was talking about, okay, I've been talking about a lot of stuff now, and then you come online and you said, oh, thank you, sir. I learned this, you mentioned some of the things I've spoken about, your business, and then you now ask a follow-up question. It will make the person sure that, oh, you have been paying attention. So these are same skills you apply when you're doing an interview, right? You kind of research through the company or whatever they tell you on the interview, because most times all these international companies, they will talk about their companies first, what they do and all that, and then tell you, do you have any question? So if you're able to pick some things from what they said and you build up on it, it shows that you have been paying attention, right? Why I'm talking about all this, because the Nigerian work culture doesn't teach us this, right? I had to learn some of these things the hard way because I worked with a lot of US people. So I had to build, observe, open myself up to being to change and be better. Some of the feedback were very painful. There was one time my manager reached out to me, one of the companies I worked for. He lives in the US. He said, Francis, you're always coming late for meetings. I'm like, how am I coming late for meetings? Say, you're always 2 minutes late. Now me, from my background as a Nigerian, 2 minutes late, for God's sake. I is 2 minutes late, right? But they take all these things seriously. I said, that's bad though, and it's true. I used to come late for meetings because I just sit. I say, maybe that's when people will still be joining and all that. I did not know people used to join 3 minutes, 2 minutes before the meeting and be waiting. So once it's time, everybody starts. So it's all these bad practices that we have in Nigeria. It affects us too. I also share another story how I lost one job like that. I was good. The guy said I was good, like, but he now said that in the assignment he gave me to do, he saw errors. There were just 3 typographical errors where I missed to put S, where I missed to put comma. That's how they did not give me the job. And it was very painful. So I'm addressing all these basic things so that once you are building your technical skills, also pay attention to the way you're presenting yourself, right? So yeah, I think that's all for this section, and then we'll go into the last section, and that'll be it, and then I'll answer questions. So if you have any question now, you can please feel free to ask. I'm saying, can you give us the names of the tools we need to learn to work effectively in the industry, right? So different, or like all I say now, like different career paths have tools that are specific to their job description, right? But there are some tools that are general. For example, using Google Calendar, you definitely need to use Google Calendar when you are working with people. You need to schedule meetings. You should know how to change meeting times and all that, right? So that one is basic. You know how to use Slack, right? You know how to use Google Docs. So let me give you an interesting example. There was this guy, like I told him, create a Google Doc so that I see what you are doing, and just invite me so that I can collaborate on the document. I was like, how will he do that? I said, okay, I just showed him. I said, add my email and all that. So he was like, so do you mean that when you're changing it from your side, it will be changing in my side? Like, what is it? But I was glad with this easier question, right? So know how to use this to so Google Docs, know how to send good emails. If your email is still like, how would I put it? Some people, then we used to have this email, say, okay, for example, our Francis, I say, oh, Francis Fineboy96 at Gmail. All those kind of funny emails. One day, my friend looked at my email many years ago. So, what kind of email is this? That's how I had to change my email, like give it a proper, like even though someone has used my, I had to change it, like make it. Let's say, for example, if my name is John Doe, I try to make it johndoe@gmail.com or john.doe@gmail so that it's clean. Not that some people just come up with names. Sexy baby at what kind of email is that, right? You should have like a clean email with your name, to just so that I'm a serious person. So tools, I talked about Slack, I talked about Google, I talked about Google. Google has like Slide, has Google Docs, Excel, you can use Google Sheets, right? There's Notion, right? These are like, you just play around with it, right? Keep your notes and all that. These are like general stuff. Then if you're into front end and all, definitely you have tools that you use like your VS Code. You definitely use VS Code. If you're trying to track issues, some use Trello, some use Jira, some use Shortcut, which was formerly Clubhouse for project management, right? To be able to manage projects that you're using. So yeah, these are like some of the tools that you'll be using. What if I'm open to learn, but the information I manage to gather does not help me? So, right. So first of all, you should ask yourself, like, who are you getting this information from, right? I'm seeing it in the context of maybe the person teaching you is not helping you out. So here's another tip. If you are going through a tutorial and you're not feeling the person, like you are not connecting, and you have tried, you're not understanding the person, you can look for another tutorial. Just when I was learning Git, the person that taught it, I did not really, we did not, I tried, but once I changed to another like tutor, like it was making more sense to me. So you can always switch, right? You always find someone that you connect with and you should get the right information. Sir, please, I have interest in customer service assistant area. I need your direction on how to go about it. So if you want to do like customer service is broad. I also do customer service, but that's what they call technical support engineering. But it's technical, like you have to be like a software engineer because you're also talking to customers, right? So what kind of customer service do you want to do, right? Is it like general customer service? What kind of company do you want to work for, right? There are some certifications on customer service, like managing how to use Zendex, how to use Salesforce, how to use like customer relationship management tools. So you can just do a Google search, look for the cheapest course and check on Udemy. Udemy courses are kind of cheap. You go through it. Then you can also volunteer, right? To maybe NGOs. It depends on the kind of customers. You want to do it in a technical space, in an NGO. So where you are doing it will determine like how you need to go about it. So I don't have more context on what kind of customer service you want to do. The final question. Hello, for my CV to be accepted, should I write it based on the skills needed in the organization? Please write it based on what you know and that is in line with what the organization needs, right? Let's say, for example, the organization is looking for a JavaScript developer, and you don't know JavaScript, and you go and add JavaScript, they'll catch you. So if they say write what you know they need, right, that you can do, right, and you should have different CV for different job applications. Let me give you an example. This guy that gave me CV, like he even added his job post where he was a music director of a church. He added it for a role that has nothing to do with music director, right? So your CV has to be tailored because we have a lot of experiences. For example, me, I can apply for a technical support engineer. I can apply for a front-end engineer. So depending on the role, I will tailor my CV to what they are looking for and the experiences I have, right? I've worked for a fashion industry. I've worked in oil and gas. They cannot be asking for a JavaScript engineer and I'll go and say I was an admin in NMPC or what. How is it relevant to what they are looking for? So I'll sieve out my CV and make sure that it tallies with what they are looking for and the experience I have. So thanks for that question. I'm glad you are asking questions. Yeah, listening. So what else? Skills. So there are people here that are already doing front end, you're doing back end, some are doing UI UX. So I'll just add like some other skills to like other career paths for those that are looking for where to start. There's also data analytics, data science, even video editing, writing. Like there's some people, they call them technical writers. There are some companies that pay you like, if you're that good, they pay you like up to $700 per article. So imagine maybe, let's say what I used to do to my mentees is that every 2 weeks, whatever you learned, you must write it on Medium. You must write an article on Medium and I must see it. So once they write that article, it's building their writing skills, and before they are done, they've written like 10 articles. And when you're applying to those kind of jobs, they'll tell you or share a sample of what you have done. So you can even share your Medium article and they'll see that, oh, wow, you have written a very nice article before. You can join our program, write an article for us. I know a lady that makes a lot of money. She just writes like 5 articles in a month and she will rest. They'll pay her $800, $900, right? Because it's a global skill. It's not limited to Nigeria. Writing is, if you can write, you can write. You know, it doesn't care whether in Nigeria or in Canada or in UK. If you can write, you can write. So yeah, so these are like awesome career paths, and I'm glad that most of you have chosen to like do tech, do front end, do back end, do data science, customer service, and all of that. Yeah, so there's also cybersecurity, there's DevOps engineering. That guy that I told you about that I worked on his CV, he's into DevOps engineering, right? That's what he does. There's software testing, business analytics, and all of that. So questions, now I want to start addressing the questions people raised, like initially from David, Zuka, Kiki, and all. So David said he wants to be motivated to get a sense of purpose and like the training front end. I'm sure with some of what I've shared, you have like clear direction on why you're doing what you're doing. So if you have a follow-up question, you can ask about that. So getting a skill in front end, is UI UX needed while doing front end, right? So the thing is that most front end engineers, why they learn UI UX is because in the Nigerian market, they'll always say you should have UI UX. Like if you're working for a Nigerian company, they'll tell you a front end engineer, you should also have experience with UI UX because you are styling, you'll be styling a lot of products and all that. So it's good, right? But start first, focus on your core. You should have your strength. Know which one is your strength. If front end is your strength, like major on it, but also learn it. There's nothing wrong in it. It gives you like an added advantage. Remember, I said that the jobs are limited and the applicants are many. So if a HR or a recruiter sees that, oh, you have front end skills, you also have UI UX, but these are the applicants, it just has front end, it doesn't have UI UX. They'll choose you because they know that you have an edge, and those parts kind of complement each other. Although in a standard setting, like if you have gained a lot of experience, you are working for big companies. If you're into front end, that's what you will focus on. If you're into what's it called, UI UX, that's what you're going to do. But since you are starting out, and you cannot just all of a sudden just start working for US companies or big companies like that, right? You need to start somewhere. At least you do an internship, you even work for free, right, to build experience. So you should join it, but have a major one that you learn, let me say, for the next 6 months to 1 year. But don't be combining two things at the same time, right? So I hope I answered that question. Okay, so interest in front end, I want to have interest in data analytics. So like I said, focus on one, then you can add like to it, right? Let me give you an instance. I'll say like I'm doing front end, right? But now I'm kind of shifting to DevOps engineering. I've been learning a lot of DevOps stuff like recently. So I wasn't learning them at the same time and confusing myself, right? I've built like core competence in one and I'm adding to the other, like I'm adding to it, and it's even easier for me. Last question. Backend developer, he wants to know what the backend is about. That's like a very big question. So the simple answer I'll give is that go on YouTube, Google, what is backend engineering? Watch all the videos there, right? And or if it's going to consume a lot of data for you, right? You can just go on Google, like read articles to know what backend engineering is all about. But at a very high level, I'll just give you an overview what the backend is. So let's say you have a restaurant, right? The front of that restaurant that you're seeing, that beautiful flashy restaurant, maybe you went with your wife or your girlfriend and all, and you are seated. That beautiful fine restaurant, music is playing, everything is just all nice and good, right? Just imagine that that's the front end. Right? That's what front end is all about. Then those people in the kitchen that are turning pots, right, and mixing the food, preparing, doing stuff, just imagine that they are the backend developers. Then the APIs. APIs are those like what do they call them now? Waiters that bring your food, they take your order, you send a request, they go and meet the back end, and the back end come. So those waiters, they are the APIs that make you to interact your front end and your back end. That's like the high level description. But to be very technical, right? You need to like watch a lot of videos, know what backend is all about. What does a backend engineer do, right? So you can watch YouTube videos on that. Why I shared that analogy with you is because I went for an interview and they told me that I should explain a technical concept to someone that is not technical. So you see where communication comes in. So that's why I used that illustration. So now you can relate to a restaurant, you can relate to a waiter, you can relate to the kitchen. So you have an idea of what front end, back end, and what an API is. So that's all from like the questions that we had from the initial when we started actually. I have a question. Hello, should learning this skill faster be based specifically on building project? Because I do learn the whole material I have before thinking of building a project. So the thing is that whatever I learn, try to practice it. Let's say, for example, if you're learning HTML now, right? You don't need to learn all the tags before you start building stuff. You can just first you can try build your first hello world. You add your HTML tag, you add your head, you add your title, you add your body, you now add your p tags. Just add one paragraph. You have created a simple HTML page. You don't need to learn everything before you start building stuff. In fact, there was one game, I think I've forgotten the name of that. It was trending last year. It was just only HTML and Java, like over 20 lines of code that they used to write that game. And they bought it for like millions of dollars. So you don't need to learn. And thanks for asking that question. You don't need to learn but practice more. Like you don't need to just be consuming resources, but you're not practicing. Practice more. And then also know that at the back of your mind, you may not be able to get all the information you need. So if for example, you give me a project to build now, I might not know everything, but I know how to find what I'm looking for. So I'll go on what is it called? W3 School or Free Code Camp, be checking all the tags. What does this do? Because I already have an understanding of how it works, right? But you should understand the basics and don't just rush stuff. You should understand the basics and practice. The mistake I made then was that I'll just sit down, watch a YouTube video, watch, and I'll not be deceived, feeling that because the video has ended, I have learned it. No, you haven't learned it though. If you try to build what is there, you will see errors that you have never seen before. So practice what you're learning. That's the best way, like you build like your memory, like you build muscle, your memory power. So yeah, questions before I like share my final thoughts. Any questions? I'm moving to my final section now. All right, so my final thoughts would be like on general, like just advice that I'm going to share. So the first thing is mentorship. Like mentorship is very, very important because that person will point you in the right direction. Now, how do you find a mentor, right? So remember I told you that I'm trying to switch to another career, right? So I had to look for somebody that knows what he's doing. So I found the person, luckily is my friend and is close to me, right? And I saw the results in life, like this person is really good, this brothers. And then I came with my questions. I asked him, okay, how do I start? How did you start? What are the books you read? Um, what's your itinerary like? How did you learn? Like, how did you learn this particular project? He shared some of his books with me, showed me some resources that I should go to, right? Because there are a lot of information, there are a lot of tutorials out there, plenty. So you have to look for somebody that has maybe tested the waters and can point you that, okay, learn from this person, learn. It saves you a lot of stress, right? So you even see some YouTube videos, people will say, what I wish I knew, what I will learn differently if I'm starting this career again, what I'm going to learn and all that. So look for somebody that has results in their life, like so this person is good, this person has like is doing fine, and you want to be like this person. Just ask them and be professional. Like make sure your question is rich. Don't assume anything. Like don't stress them trying to let them be thinking, oh, what is he trying to say? What is this person? What are you trying to communicate? What question are you trying to ask? Right. So make sure it's detailed, and your mentors will like push you in the right direction. Let me give you like an illustration. Like there's one time I traveled to a particular city, and this guy was like, "Oh, he wants to see me and all that." I was like, "Okay, okay." He said, "Please, he has been trying that he wants to see me. That we should just go out." Okay, so I'm going to see you. So he told me his plans that he wants to go into data analytics. Like he had concrete plans. These are the things he wants to do. How does he start? Then I didn't know anything about data analytics, but and that would be my second point in like my final thoughts. I pointed them to a community of data analytics, like a tech hub that he should go to, right, and meet other like-minded people. So now he was living in that city. He didn't know that that kind of tech hub existed, but I knew, and I pointed him there. I said, "Go there, go and meet these people, learn." Someone's mic is up. Yeah. So I told him he should join them, learn, just pointed him in the right direction. Because if, for example, he started going through, I'm sure he learned on his own, right? But maybe if he was just moving aimlessly, learning different things, and he did not have clear direction, he wouldn't have been where he is now, right? So he joined that community, he met like minds, they were doing tutorials there, people, they were inviting people and all that. And then before I knew it, he started growing. He even got a scholarship, right, to the UK and all that. So one day I was in London, and then he said, that he needs to see me. That I should not leave London. Or he needs to see me. Okay, okay. And he brought me chocolates. I'm like, all right. He was like, you don't know what you did for me and all that. So me, I felt like, what did I do for you? I did not give you money. I just said, just go and join. But that direction alone, like, changed his life, like, because I gave him like information like if you join this community of people, right, this is what's going to happen. You'll be able to learn and all that. But mind you, if you also put in the work, because there are some people that will just join for fun, they will not participate. If they give assignments, they will not do. They always come up with excuses and all that, and just be waiting for someone to just recommend them for a job. It doesn't work like that. So you have to participate. You have to put in the work. But he was so appreciative that that when he joined, he learned a lot of stuff and all that, and now he's even doing his PhD in data analytics. So what am I saying? Mentorship is very important. Maybe there was something he saw that he felt I will know. Maybe he saw that I travel a lot and all that, and he felt, oh, this guy will know something that he will tell me something that will really push me. So look out for me on Twitter, wherever. Like if you see somebody doing what you want to do, like ask them, like ask them and they'll help you. So that's a mentorship, and be respectful. Like go above above and beyond. If they say, okay, go through this tutorial, for example, let's say Michael tells you that, okay, go to this tutorial, learn this, and then you now say thank you and go. You don't come back with feedback. You don't tell him that this is what I built, this is what I did, this is the challenge I'm facing. What can you help? Or you just disappear, like you don't even show any effort. That's what some mentees just do. And then they'll just be waiting for, oh, please buy me laptop, please give me data. Like, but they're not putting in any effort to like make life easier for the mentor, right? So if they're giving you an assignment, do it well. If they say you should submit, do it and submit it well, so that everyone know that you're a serious person. Because there's no time. People are busy. People have families. People have issues. People have challenges. So you want to come and bring your own, like you have to be really serious. We have to meet at the middle point, right? So even God said, draw near to me and I'll draw near to you. If you don't draw near, God still don't draw. So don't worry about a human being, right? So that's mentorship. Then my second point is community relationships, right? As people are here now, maybe you have your WhatsApp group, like you can share opportunities with one another. There's a conference happening. Don't just sit down at home, join. Like I'm glad like all of you joined this meeting now, and I'm sure you gained one or two things, right? Like participate. If someone has an issue, maybe they have a challenge and they share it in the group. Oh, I'm finding it difficult to solve this problem. Don't just read the message and pass. That's another thing that most Africans do. At least try to show effort. Okay, I'll try resolve it. That's where being a team member comes in. Don't just sit and ignore it and say, I beg, he's not sharing job opportunities. Try to solve that issue for the person. Even if you don't solve it, just say, okay, me too, I'm getting the same error when I did this. And you never know, the person might just be somewhere and they say, okay, do you have someone else that you can bring to join our company? We can see you. And you just remember that you help them solve that particular problem. And that's how people get opportunities. So it mustn't be about money. At least try to solve problems, participate, be involved, right? And yeah, so I said community relationships and be respectful also with your relationships. Then if the third point is continuous learning, like be prepared that it doesn't stop. You will continue learning till you say that you don't want to do it again. Things are changing, things are coming up, right? New tools are coming up. You just have to keep learning, keep becoming better. Don't be satisfied like with where you are, because before you know it, what you know is no longer relevant. It's no longer in vogue, right? So you have to keep learning, keep improving, keep pushing yourself. And that's one thing I found that most people are not like doing. When they start, they just do 1 month, 2 months, they did not see job, like they just say, I beg. This one, somebody needs to eat, right? And they just go. So you have to keep learning, even if you become the best or whatever. You have to keep reading, keep upgrading yourself, keep getting better. This month I had courses that I took, there are video tutorials that I watched. They are like, I'm currently learning a new programming language. because my mentor told me that it's good for DevOps, and that's Golang. So I'm currently learning. I've been creating projects, like pushing it. Like this, I even made it public because my this wasn't public before. I've been pushing, learning stuff, building small things, learning. Now this is a new programming language. It doesn't matter what I've known in JavaScript or whatever, although it helps kind of, but it's a new program. The syntax is different. So I'm still learning. If, for example, a new programming language comes up or something that is relevant comes up, if all of us start learning it, all of us are beginners, right? So there's no somebody that's reached heaven that he knows everything. We're all learning, so you must be learning continuously. And then finally is that you have to give yourself time. Like you have to be very patient with yourself. Don't expect that after 1 year you just start dollars will just start entering you like that. See, you will face challenges. One another challenge I face was rejections. Like email, you apply for jobs like this, they just reject you. But especially we that are from Africa, like they just this one is Nigeria. It's even becoming worse now with the whole thing that's happened for you and all. Then I had one interview, and on the call, the guy was like, okay, so you're going to start working, blah blah blah. We'll discuss your salary and all that. You know, say I know London time is kind of different from US time. So he was thinking I was in London because kind of UK time and Nigeria time they are kind of similar. Sometimes just 1 hour ahead. And I said, no, I'm not in the UK, I'm in Nigeria. That was the end of the call. I just cut the call and left. So these are some of the challenges. But if I'd allowed that to like make me feel that or more, nobody's hiring Nigerians, so they just feel that our internet fraudsters. Like there'll always be somebody that will give you a chance. And also your faith, like me, I'm a Christian. I pray to God, please God favor me. Like and I'm making my applications. Like God is also there to help you, right? But you must at least do your own part, right? Do your own part. So yeah, that's like the final point. Give yourself time, right? It might take a year, for some it might take 2 years, for some it might take 3 years. Just keep pushing, keep learning, keep getting the experiences, and everybody face rejection. Like if I should tell you the amount of rejections I've received, ha, see, from the subject of the email, I know if this is a rejection or not because of the amount of rejections I've received, right? And it happens to everybody. It's normal, right? There are some jobs you apply, they'll not even get back to you, right? There's one interview I did 7 stages, 7. At the end, you know, I am over the interview was over a month. Like we're scheduling every week, we'll do 45 minutes on the call. It pained me, but what will you do? You keep pushing. Somebody will always take a chance on you. Like it will not always be like that, right? So I hope you learned something today. And I'll just take questions. I'll spend 1 hour, 30 minutes on this call. So normally it was 2 hours. So now questions. Hello, what advice can you give to someone who is feeling overwhelmed in the learning process? So you see that you have to really type that correctly, like feeling overwhelmed in the learning process. You said overwhelming, but we're all learning, right? Yeah, so it can be overwhelming sometimes, right? That's true. Like, but you have to tell yourself the truth, right? Tell yourself the truth. Like do a situation analysis of yourself. Like someone said, tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself, I am broke. I don't have money. I know. You're right. Know where you are. That's the first point. Because why some people get overwhelmed is because they just feel that they are something, they should just get everything in their hands at the same time. No, you should don't deny what's happening around you, or don't deny like your state, right? If you're a beginner, tell yourself that I am a beginner. Michael is a senior, he has plenty years of experience. I will make mistakes, right? So start telling yourself some truth that I cannot know what he knows. He has more years than me. So I should take things gradually, right? I shouldn't start expecting to be like him just in a short period of time. Know where you are at every point, right? Michael has plenty years of experience, right? You are just starting. Don't start comparing yourself. Or if he's traveled or another, you start comparing. You have high BP, right? Tell yourself, if he tells you his own challenges too, you too like, I say you went through all these things. So know where you are, like, and don't feel that you are something where you are not. My sister told me this story that in the psychiatric hospital, if they want to discharge psychiatric people, I don't know how to treat it, but she was the one that told me, they will ask the psychiatric person, do you know that you are not normal? If the person say, yes, I know that I'm not normal, they'll say, you are well, you can go. But if the person say, I am normal, oh, why do you think I'm not normal? The person is fighting, being overwhelmed that I'm a normal person. They'll say, this one, you are not well. Go back to, you don't know that. So it just being self-aware of certain. That my friend now that is doing DevOps, he's earning like his salary in a month. He's doing two jobs. His salary in a month is like $30,000. No, $30,000 is the current exchange rate. That's like 30 million. Although he doesn't stay in Nigeria, right? But that's how much. I cannot compare myself with that kind of person that has plenty years of experience in what me. I'm just trying to get into, and I start feeling that I should be anywhere or be where it is. To not work. So you have to give yourself time, and then take your baby steps. Accept it. Wear your badge of a beginner, and don't hide it. And feel that. So people get overwhelmed because they want to bite more than what they can chew. If you are starting HTML, do your index.html. You have only one file inside. Do your hello world. Be proud of it. Post it on your status or Twitter. I just created a hello world index.html page. Be proud. Next step, you learn CSS, how to add CSS. Add your CSS. Be proud of it. You are making steps. But don't start feeling that, when will I build an app, a to-do app? When will I just build? You just start vibrating on your own and you just start. So enjoy the process. Take it gradually so that you're not overwhelmed. And then break your learnings, right? One of the tutorials I did, I'm even still on it, right? On this month is an 8-hour tutorial, right? I told myself, this is a new concept. I cannot sit down 8 hours and go over this thing. It will not work. So what I did is that I broke it down. 30 minutes every day or for 3 days. I'll be going. If I don't understand it, I will search here. That's at my mark is first 30 minutes. After I've understood the first 30 minutes, I move to the next 30 minutes. But that I should not tell myself that, this tutorial is 8 hours. When will I just reach the end and just be consuming? I won't learn anything. So break things down. Take things bit by bit. Take things bit by bit. And before you know it, some things will begin to make sense. Like as I'm moving on to different, like the third 30 minutes, it's now clicking, it's now making sense. But if I sat down and started watching it, what are they saying? What are they saying? I'm moving. When will I reach 2 hours, 3 hours? And I tell myself, I finished this tutorial in 8 hours, but I don't understand anything. It's not that you don't understand anything. You didn't just become aware of where you were, like that you're a beginner and you cannot understand it at once. So you have to give yourself time, like I said initially, and break things and take things bit by bit. Another question. I'm having issues getting. Please, another thing, right? You see that you should know when to use I am and am. These are I'm trying to be like family here, so I'm correcting some things that I'm seeing here so that you don't go into like places and then you make mistakes, right? So it's I am having issues, right? So that we're practicing like what we are learning. So good news, I am having issues with getting the mentor UI UX design as a newbie. How can I go along with it? So yeah, sometimes it can be difficult. I agree with you getting a mentor, right? So what you can do is that if you don't get a a mentor, right? You can Google and say maybe top 10 UI UX designers in the world or top 10 UI UX designers in Africa or in Nigeria. Go and follow their Twitter page, look at their portfolio, see some of the projects they've worked on, see how the thoughts they share. If they have a blog, consume their blogs, read about all the things they do. That's how you get mentorship. Sometimes it may not need to be physical or guiding you. Just watch them, look for them. You can Google them. Some of them have shared their resources. If you have the opportunity to buy their books, right, you can get their books, read them, and you become better. And then, yeah, as you build your, let me say, your following or your audience or whatever, and then you have like a portfolio. If you happen to meet a mentor or you want to reach out to someone that is abroad or whatever, you can just tell them, oh, I worked on this project, I built this, you inspired me to do this. This is the project I built from what you shared and all that. The mentor will be interested. I'm like, oh, you were inspired by what I shared. Okay, what did you do? But if you just maybe meet somebody that is in the US or whatever and just send a message on Twitter, please, I want you to be my mentor. What is that? They'll just look at you, this one you're not serious. What do you mean you want me to be? What have you done? Like, you don't even know who I am. You have not read my book. You have not read any project I've worked on and all that. So at least read what they've done, try to replicate what they've done. And if you reach out to them, say, I did this, this is what I did. I read it from your blog, I built this, and all that. And they'll recommend things to you. They even show you like some of the books I read on like customer site. It was a mentor that recommended it to me, but I told him what I've done. I said, so one of the things I created a blog was because I wanted to show recruiters that I could write. So many years ago, I created a blog, I started writing. So if I'm applying for a job, I share my website link so that people know that this guy can write. And since I got an opportunity to travel early on, I wrote about my experience traveling to Rwanda, traveling to South Africa, so that they'll know that I've traveled, because some of the recruiters, they can be funny. I joined one interview one time and the guy was showing me skyscraper. Like, I haven't seen skyscraper before. So some of the Western world, they have like a very funny perception about Africans. So yeah, but if you happen to relocate and all that, you won't have all those challenges. How long did it take you to get a job? And how many times have you been rejected? How many times have I been rejected? Hey, it's a lot. Like, because sometimes I can be on a job and I want to apply to another job. I have been rejected I can't count it. It's a lot. Like, it's many. And sometimes the rejection might not be because of my skill set, right? It might be that the company, they don't hire from Nigeria, because we are looking for a remote job. Some companies will say, oh, we don't hire from Africa, we only hire from US and UK, while some will say we hire anywhere in the world and all that. But what I always encourage people is that at least start with local companies, Nigerian companies. Go there and volunteer. If there's a project you can work on that is just to gain experience, or build your own personal projects, like post it on your GitHub profile. And yeah, so for rejections, this year I've been rejected plenty, a lot, like heartbreaking rejections, right? That even make you just close your laptop and sleep. And I wake up again the next morning and be happy and continue. So yeah, and then you say, how long did it take you to get a job? So I'll say I was lucky, right? From university days, I started building websites. So then it was not even one serious skill then, it was WordPress. You just go and install one this thing and site has come out. It was WordPress then, like before I started learning like programming stuff. So I was able to like build some WordPress websites and then get some money. And then my first job, I'll say I was lucky, right? Was that internship opportunity I got. So it doesn't always happen for people like that, but for me, yeah, it just happened for me. So it was first an international internship, although I did it locally in Nigeria. So, but now there are also some internships that are international, but you can do it locally. I think is it outreachy? I think, yeah, it's outreach. So another thing, also look out for tech events. Even till now, I still go for tech events. to learn, to network with people, because someone can just recommend you for a job. I was in open source festival in Lagos this year, like to meet people, to connect with people and all that. So yeah, so rejections, yeah, you get rejection. Even for local Nigerian companies, you get rejection. It's normal thing in life. Bible says this life you will see tribulations. Rejections are tribulations. So yeah, it's normal and you shouldn't take it personal. If you are able to get feedback like from the people and say, okay, why didn't you hire me? Some will tell you why some don't. So I now reached out once and the guy told me why he didn't hire me. He said I made mistakes in my cover letter, in my assignment, and he felt that I am not someone that pays attention to details. That was it. Not because I was not skillful, but because I didn't pay attention. Where I was meant to put comma, I did not put comma. Where I was meant to put S, I did not put S. And he just felt that you cannot be representing us with international companies like this, with this kind of behavior. And that's why I did not get the opportunity. So, yeah. Questions. We have like 18, less than 17 minutes. Okay. Hello, how long should someone learn before starting to apply for a job, especially when he doesn't know what will be expected of him? The truth is that you will know what is expected of you from the job description. You'll see what is required. Even if it's an internship position, you'll see what is required. So also, thanks for asking that question, right? The thing is that once you see a job description and you know that you don't meet the requirements, don't just go and sit down and say, this job, I don't meet the requirement. Look at for those the skills they are asking for, like, and then take note of them. Then you can put it in your plan and say, in the next 3 months, I'm going to add this thing to to my CV. Meaning you will learn it and add it to your CV that I can do this thing, right? Someone attended like an event last month, and someone was saying that every month your CV should be growing. Well, for tech, it might not be possible. Like, it might be every 2 months, but at least you should be adding things that you have learned, you have built, you have mastered. You can show evidence that you can do it. At least you have something online. You have a project. Thank God for GitHub that you can build something. You can deploy it on a Vercel or whatever platform you use to deploy your project, right? At least you're improving. You see another job description and they say, we need this, just say, okay, I don't have it, but I'll add it. Since it's now a requirement for front-end engineers, I'll add it to the skills that I'll work on next. So yeah, so how long should someone learn before starting to apply for a job? Right, I'll say when you're learning, right, let's say for example, you're doing an internship, you can take 6 months to learn like front end, at least if you give it enough time. I'm not saying that your 6 months will not be every day, you now do 30 minutes. Then after 6 months, you now say I'm doing front end for 6 months. That's not the kind of 6 months I'm talking about. Because some people, their 1 year self is like 2 weeks. Because this month they will open VS Code before they come back. It's maybe after 3 months, maybe they have tried what they were looking for. Maybe one politician promised them one this thing, they now say, I will blow easily, and it did not work out again. They now come back. They now say, I have 1 year experience of doing this coding. You don't have 1 year experience. You just have 1 year of being at level 1. That's what you have. So if you take like 4-5 hours, right, for 6 months, and you dedicate it, like you are learning, you are immersed in it, trust me, within 6 months you can confidently say, oh, I'm a junior front-end engineer, right? Now I said for like 45 hours every day, maybe 5 days in a week, right? And you have projects that you have built. You can even build something simple from scratch, right? And you're now a junior, right? You can begin to apply for jobs. Now, when you're applying for jobs, like, remember what I say, know where you are, know that you're a junior, right? You are just starting. Not gonna start applying for senior role. They say we need 5 years experience there, and then you're not saying that, oh, they rejected me. Don't reject you now because now look for something, like look for an internship opportunity, look for a local company, right? Like you can even contribute to open source. If no one is hiring you, create your own blog, start writing. I know people that have gotten jobs from just writing, like write about what you are building. You have to be shouting, ha. Now they are starting, nobody knows what you are doing. There's a hashtag that ever says build in public, like you do something, you do hashtag build in public. Many people will see what you are doing. So you have to be speaking. Don't say I'm a shy person or I don't like talking. You have to talk, like you have to say post what you are doing. That's why I say if you build HTML, what's it called, like a simple homepage, or be proud of it, share it. Yeah, just starting, so people shouldn't expect you to be posting a full-fledged app and all that. Post it because it will come to a time that if you don't do it now, and then after 2 years, you now come back again and you now want to start doing. Someone now asks you, Omo, you still dey learn this thing, like what are you doing? So now that you are beginning, let people know that you are starting. One of your uncles even feel that that HTML thing that you did like this is a very big deal. You will say, you are one senior software engineer, even be recommend you to do something or build one website and all that. So be proud of where take things like gradually. Yeah, we have 12 more minutes. So have like more questions.
So do you have any other question? Okay, that's two questions.
So there's a question about internship. So yeah, so there's this popular one. Oh, where's my tab? So you can check out Trichy. I just shared it in the channel. Like it's kind of competitive. So for the entire, you see, this one is very in dollars, but you really need to stand out, right? So you see, they said it's for 3 months, and then they pay you $7,000. Man, that's a lot of money. In 3 months, they pay you 7 million naira with our current exchange rate, and you can do it from anywhere. So internships run May to August or December to March. So you have to really stand out. Look out for people that have done it before. Ask them how did they do it, and stand out. So there are other, you can Google internship opportunities in Africa, like remote. Also, you can check like job boards. I don't know if like some job boards like post internship opportunities, but yeah, you can check out that site. If you don't find internship opportunities, build projects on your own and share it. Just collaborate with people, contribute to open source, right? And although currently not to discourage anyone, the market is a bit shaky now. Like there have been a lot of layoffs here and there and all, but things will definitely still pick up. So just be prepared and do your best.
There's another question there. How were you able to connect with other tech guys? There's a question by Felix.
Oh yeah. How was I able to connect with other tech guys? So like now, for example, I'm sure people have like your own WhatsApp group or like your own community, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are your connections, right? That's why I told you, if someone shares something, someone needs help, try to contribute and help. That's how you build relationships. And then you begin to keep in touch with your friends. People are pushing each other to be growing, like, and then once you people are growing, becoming better, it will not even be easier. You keep recommending yourselves to each other. So I didn't start out like having big tech friends. Like my friend that works in Facebook, all these people that are in big companies, we all started from scratch. Like we're using one laptop, that desktop laptop, like, and all that. So we're just growing. We're just people that were like minded, right? Growing together, and then just doing stuff. It's challenging me and challenging him, right? Even as I said, some of my friends that in terms of tech, they challenge me while growing. So don't wait till you want to just start. You just want to connect with big people, right? And just be their friends. In fact, if you connect with big people safe now, right? Do you know what will happen to you? If you are not learning for them, you are trying to just force yourself into their clique. They will think that you are a senior, and you know that you are not a senior, and they'll be trying to recommend you for jobs that are senior. And I know you don't have the skill set. So for now, if you start with your own fellow beginner, you won't always be a beginner forever. Every expert was once a beginner, right? So you start with the people you have around you. People are learning together, you're growing together. Those are your tech guys or tech ladies, like those are your friends. And if you keep growing, if one stops doing tech, you keep another person. If you are learning together and growing, you're challenging on a, once you now start making big breaks, it will be easier to connect to other people. Like success attracts success. It will be easier to like reach out to. Yeah. So now if I need something and I'm not in a particular clique of good takers, I know who to talk to, that will talk to somebody from it. Because I've also got into a particular level. But it did not just start out like that, right? So here you meet people, you go for events, connect with people, connect with your fellow beginners so that you feel at peace. Because if you start trying to push yourself with big tech guys, except maybe they are your mentors and it is clear you have taken that position as a mentee. Because some people don't have pride. They just want to be like big all of a sudden, right? So you should be aware of where you are, right? Know that you're just starting. These are your community, like these are your friends, like your tech people, this is your community. Grow, start where you are, and don't compare yourself with them. But it will definitely come, right? It will, you definitely get there. So yeah, that's how I have like my tech friend. There was time I was in Dubai. I went out with some of my friends. Like we did not start like we're not laughing. In fact, that guy that I told you that I worked on the CV was not telling me that that I remember then in Uniport we were sleeping on one foam like that. That was so. But now we're where we are. Like we did not just start out big like that. And it's even good that somebody knows your story, right? So that's how you make your friendship. Like these are people here, like you can connect with everybody. You all heard the same thing. Now some people will take notes and say, this is what I'll do for the next 6 months. These are the steps I'll take. You have the same like minds. You start working on the same thing. You are challenging us. When people become big, somebody will now come and ask you that, how do you know this person? People all started together. Right. So yeah, that's it. Questions for 5 minutes. And I gotta go.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Francis. We really appreciate your talk today, your advice, and the knowledge you have shared with us. I really benefited a lot personally from this talk today. And I hope that everyone here also benefited from this talk. So I would like us to clap for our speaker. Okay, let's clap for our speaker. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fantastic. So thank you so much. And then I hope that some people are raising, okay, are they raising their hand or they are clapping? I'm not sure, but yeah, I think we ran out of time, so won't be able to take any more questions. But thank you so much, Francis. And I believe that we're going to, what we've learned from you today is going to move us to the next level. Okay, I
Yes,
like the
yes,
fact
yes,
that
yes.
you were able to explain to us, to tell us that, yeah, your challenges, 5,000 was a big deal at the point for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's good to know. It's good to know that. So I really appreciate your time and the resources you have shared with us today. So thank you so much, and hope to see you
You're
again
welcome.
next time. All right.
Anytime, anytime.
So if you have any question, you want to, so can you drop your Twitter page so that we can, some of us can follow you on Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow my Twitter handle is Larry Francis.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's my Twitter handle.
Okay, yeah, so we can follow you. You can ask questions, send some messages to him, to really. So thank you so much. So really appreciate, and we'll see
You're
you again.
welcome.
Yeah, I hope to see you again next time with testimonies. Uh,
Sure, sure. And if you see me anywhere, like
yeah,
just say hi.
yeah, fantastic, fantastic. All right, thank you.
All right.
Be
Yeah.
blessed.
Take
All
care everyone, and
right,
enjoy.
thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bye.
cheers. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Samai. Wow,
Thank you.
it was a nice time. I really enjoyed this.
That's good. Good to know. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Have a
Bye.
lovely night. Yeah, thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. I'm so happy for today. God
Thank you.
bless you so much.
You're
God
welcome.
bless you, Mr. Mike. Nice
All
one.
right.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you very much. It was a great time.
Mr. Mike, thank you.